Hi guys, Rory here from Your Golf Travel. You may have noticed I'm not on the roof this week. I'm actually in Hotel Savoy Grado in Italy. I've been here for a couple of days filming with one of our brand ambassadors, Guido Migliozzi, I think his name is pronounced.
Migliozzi Guido.
There we go. Guido Migliozzi. See? Fluent in Italian after 2 days. I'm actually just doing some editing, but as you can probably guess, this week's topic is fairly obvious. It's US Open week, so it's major time again. Big thing that's been going on social media this week, as you've probably all seen, is people commenting on Erin Hills, this year's host course. It's a new US Open venue, and the one thing people are commenting and maybe even complaining about is the length of the rough, which does seem a little bit too brutal perhaps. So this week's video could be a preview of sorts, you could say. I've drafted in some friends to make some predictions. I'm going to make a prediction as well later on in the video. We're also going to talk the hardest golf courses you've ever played. So once you've seen everyone's ideas on who might win, who will struggle, who might be a favourite, and maybe an outsider who could do well, let us know who you think is going to win the US Open and who might struggle, who you'd expect to do well, and also what is the hardest golf course you have ever played. I know the hardest golf course I've ever played includes, I think it's a tie between the #2 course at Pinehurst, which I played earlier this year with Mark and Lockey on a Masters tour. That was extremely difficult, but an awful lot of fun. As I said in previous videos, I always try and not let my eventual score affect my opinions on the course as a whole. And the other course, which I found to be extremely difficult as well, but I would still recommend going to play it because it's an amazing place to play golf, is Trump International Scotland up in Aberdeen. Played there with Mark as well. We played off the back tips. There are loads of sets of tees there, so you can definitely find a more comfortable place to play from. But yeah, that beat me black and blue. So let's guess. Nah, I'm not going to say it. Let's just take a look at some of the predictions that I got some of my friends in the beers to send me about the US Open. One word of warning, I cannot be held responsible for any of the footage you're about to see. There are some horrific golfers' tans and some bare male torsos. Not my fault, guys.
Hi, Mark Crossfield Coach Lockey here. Coach is making soup in Spain. We're at Las Colinas actually on a golf holiday.
We are.
Predictions for US Open, who do you think is going to win?
Oh, you haven't given me much time to think about this. You pounced on me.
Well, I'll go first. I'm going to go with Brandon Grace. Oh, that's a wild shout. That just came out. I don't know where that came from. Who are you going to go for?
Well,
ready?
Long course, bit wet. Whoa! Surprised that fires and pops.
Your head and neck doesn't look like it belongs to that body.
Nor does my feet.
Prehensile feet.
I'm gonna go with Bubba Watson.
Right, you laughed at mine.
I'm Ryan here from the club. I'm just going up the shop to buy an ice lolly. To win it, I'm going to say Beef. He's told me already he's going to win by 8 or 9 shots, so that's an easy one. Outside bet, I'm going to go with Eddie Pepperell, the person inside the top 10 who is going to do the worst. I'm going to say Dustin Johnson. I don't think he hits it far enough for this golf course, and he's not a great ball striker. Cheers!
So Guido's picked his pick for the US Open, and we'll talk about mine later. Who is yours, Guido?
Mine is Jon Rahm.
So Jon Rahm, we've all seen him, up-and-coming PGA Tour player. He's been pretty amazing this season. But you're not picking him just because he's one of the best players in the world. You're picking him because
he's very straight, so we'll never see the big rough.
Yeah. And you know this because you've played with him, haven't you?
Yes, I played with him 3 years ago in Japan, the World Team Championship, and he was already a very, very nice player.
And then he was world #1 amateur at that time?
Yes.
And then since then he's obviously kicked on and taken to the PGA Tour like a duck to water. So there we go. We've got Guido as a Challenge Tour player. He's also played a few events on on the European Tour, so he can gauge what tour conditions would be like. Maybe not US Open style, a lot better than we can, and he's going for Jon Rahm. So my pick to win outright for the US Open might seem like an obvious one. He's one of my favourite players, is Rory McIlroy. I know he's had injury concerns recently, but on paper his game is tailor-fit, or tailor-made for, that's ironic considering he's just signed for them, tailor-made for Erin Hills, which is 7,700 yards long, and that's obviously going to take, length is an advantage, let's be honest, and you're going to have to hit fairways too, and Rory is one of the best drivers of the golf ball in the world. Like I said, everyone's been making a big deal out of the rough and how punishing it is, so I think someone's going to have to hit it long and straight to challenge. And Rory's had some good results too, despite the injuries. He's had a couple of not great finishes recently, but if you look back at his record this year on the PGA Tour, there's a bunch of top fives at really heavily stacked events. My pick for an outsider, if you can call him one, is Lee Westwood. He's got a great record at the US Open. I've seen him up close and personal a couple of times recently, obviously in very pressure-free situations. We played with him at Close House, and then I was inside the ropes with him at the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. He's hitting it great. I said, obviously a completely different ball game playing in a major versus playing with the likes of me, Mark and Matt. But I was so impressed the way he hits it from tee to green. At 100 to 1, this guy's been at the top of the game, top 50 in the world comfortably for, 2 decades. So yeah, I mean, it would be pretty mad not to bet on him at 100 to 1, wouldn't it? And finally, my player in the top 10 who might struggle, Jordan Spieth. He's had, I think, 3 missed cuts in his last 7 events on the PGA Tour, so very un-Jordan-like. Usually when he's on his game is very, very consistent. The long hoovering 40-foot putts of 2015 aren't dropping as frequently as they used to. And there's some other stats in 2015 which people overlook quite often. His proximity to the hole from lots of distances was really high on tour, so that obviously is going to affect the amount of putts he's holing. That's dropped off a little bit, put a bit more pressure on that short game, which isn't operating to the same high level that it once was. So there we go, guys. They're my US Open picks, and picks of people I know in the industry, in the biz as it were. As I said before, please let us know who you think is going to win the US Open, who might struggle. Just post comments down below, subscribe to the Your Golf Travel channel, and like the video. And as I said before, again, not just US Open, but please let us know which is the hardest golf course you have ever played.